We are live. It is Monday night. We're going to have a great stream tonight. We're going to have a good time. Monday night. Man, I'm tired.
So am I.
I'm a little pooped. I'm a little pooped out. I'm feeling a little case of the Mondays going on, especially after the great, sweet Chiefs victory yesterday. And then we just stayed up too late last night, honestly.
Yeah, watching TV.
Like little kids, but
yeah,
we're gonna have an awesome stream tonight, though. Thank you guys so much for being here. Yeah, I don't know. It's Monday.
Yeah.
Cheers to everybody. Cheers to everybody.
Cheers to my empty glass.
Was there anything in there?
Not yet.
Oh.
I haven't poured anything yet. Like I said, I got a little bit of a headache, so try not to drink a whole lot.
Well,
there he is.
Well, you don't have to drink anything if you don't want to.
No, I'm gonna drink some.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna feed into your alcoholism.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're gonna have an awesome guest on tonight. Got him in the background in the what do you call this thing? The waiting room?
Backstage, I guess.
Backstage. Oh. I like the waiting room a little bit better. I'm like, he's in the waiting room. He's stuck back there. So yeah, we're gonna drink whiskey. We're gonna talk whiskey like normal and just hang out. And thank you guys so much for being here. Man, we are just on like another level. It feels like the Mondayest of all Mondays.
It is a case of the Mondays today.
Do you got a case of the Mondays?
Yeah.
I got a case of the Mondays. But let's say hi to everyone, and then we're going to bring our awesome guest in. If you guys didn't see the thumbnail, we're going to have good old Ryan Cecil in here tonight. So it's going to be a good time. And yeah, that's what I got to say.
And of course, it's Pursuit.
Bourbon Pursuit United. You guys know them, Pursuit Spirits. So we'll do that. We'll get into all that funness. I'm going to bring my energy level up, and I'm not going to be so awkward because, wow.
Not be awkward?
This is like the first time I've ever done this. You would... Just kidding. Anyhow, let's say hello to everyone. We got Top Dog in here. Cheers, everyone. Hit that like button. Flip the light switch, too. Hit that like button on the way in. Grab your favorite pour. Scream, let's go Chiefs.
Oh, jeez.
How about those Kansas City Chiefs? You got to fight for your right.
Go to the Super Bowl?
Heck yeah. Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. If you guys didn't know it, I'm a diehard Chiefs fan. I have been my entire life. Super jazzed. Can't wait. Now, I am really sad that it's not going to be the Chiefs and the Lions because I really, really wanted that Taylor Swift Eminem matchup. I mean, can you...
It's football. It's not music.
Okay. There's music in football.
It's football.
I'm just saying. Eminem, Taylor Swift... That would have been great. But also, it's still going to be great with Taylor Swift. So anyway.
You're not going to be able to go through all these comments before.
Okay, hello, Raging Irishman, Mike Franklin, Joe Dickinson, Sugar Kitty, Taste and Sensibility, Nick Winton, Clicker69, Top Dog said I love the $300 shopping video. Thank you so much. We got Robert in the house. What's up, Robert? Great show tonight for sure. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. All whiskey tubers are alcoholics, right?
Yeah.
Hey, don't tell my mom that. What's up, Ty Leasy? Cheers to you and welcome in. Sean, hey.
Sean.
What's up, Sean? I like bourbon a lot, too. Cheers to you. Tim Cornet. Clayton Mitchell, what's up, homies? Just followed through on last week and copped a bottle of OGD 114.
Nice.
Wahoo!
It's a good bottle.
It's a great bottle. Aaron Pierce in the house. Oh, and of course, the only. We got Ryan Cecil in the background.
Well, you should just bring him in now.
Oh, I'll bring him in.
Now that you put his name in there.
Now that I put his name in there, I guess it's only fair to bring him in.
Well, to be fair, I put my own name in.
Yeah.
It's like bring you in. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you all? Love your lineup there.
Pretty good. Just like I said, kind of got through workday Monday, and now it's just kind of okay. Now it's just relax and have some fun.
What's relaxing? I don't know that.
Yeah.
Neither do we. It seems like we're like going 90-0 all the time, and I'm sure you are too with everything you all got going on over there. So
every day is triage. It's like you go in every day and you have like a to-do list, and one gets done, and then 20 get added to it, and you're like, I just never feel like I can. But it's all good problems.
Oh yeah.
You never feel like you catch up. I know that feeling.
What are you doing here?
I'm going to put his name up there. Sorry.
Oh, there you go. I was wondering what you were trying to do.
Yeah,
there.
He's like, what is she doing? She's so awkward. I don't know what she's clicking on. But yeah, we stayed up too late last night. So we did actually have a little bit of relaxation yesterday. Mm-hmm. We set in our backyard makeshift cigar lounge.
I saw that. That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. And then we
watch some football, smoke some cigars.
Yeah,
I didn't drink
yesterday
whiskey.
was
'Cause
it was
I was a little hungover from the night before. We had some friends over, and it was just drank a little too much.
Well, we just pulled down every bottle, like if you have friends over, it's like, let's drink this and that. And
Yeah.
so we had like, I don't know, maybe 100 bottles sitting on
There
this
was
table.
not 100.
It felt like there were 100
No,
bottles.
there was like 20 when I cleaned it up yesterday.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I only bring out good bottles when friends are over because I don't like drinking them by myself. It's like I want to
Mhm.
share them with people. So I know
Yep.
I understand that feeling. But yeah, it was a great football day. Congratulations to your Chiefs.
you.
I'm conflicted about that because like we don't have an NFL team here in Louisville, Kentucky. So I don't really have a team, but gosh, I want someone else besides the Chiefs to be in the Super Bowl. But I have such respect. I mean, gosh, Patrick Mahomes is insane. Their defense was insane yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Crazy.
but I really, Lamar played at University of Louisville, and he's been such a
Mhm.
big, and he's been huge to this community, and like I was just cheering for him so hard. But it's tough too because we got a lot of Kansas City fans, so don't want to make them mad. So I'm happy for y'all, but I want Lamar to just get his one shining moment.
No, I totally thought he was going to have it too. Like I thought there
Yeah.
was no chance in heck that they were going to beat the Chiefs this time. Because I mean, of course, the Chiefs are great. Their offense hasn't been as good as it has been in the past, and I mean, the defense really showed up though yesterday. And then it was a great game, and it looked kind of like Lamar was just a little bit off yesterday.
Yeah, I
So.
think it was the defense. They just had him like all over the place. He couldn't get in a rhythm. They did a great job. Spags.
I thought the craziest was that Lions game. Like when it was up,
Oh my
21-3 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we kind of stopped watching it for a little while and looked back. It's like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah.
It just right back up there.
It
Yeah, that
is
was
a really funny, weird like feeling when people say, does it really have to be the Chiefs again? Because I grew up watching the Chiefs. And for people to be like, is it really have to be the Chiefs again? It's such a weird thing because they have been so like for the majority of my life, the Chiefs were so bad, like so bad. I grew up with my mom throwing remotes at the TV. This is Marty Schottenheimer football. We hate Marty Ball. And just, going nuts. And now here we are. And the Chiefs fans feel just like Broncos fans feel just like Chiefs fans did.
That's how I feel right now.
And enjoy it. I'm a huge Kentucky basketball fan, and we had a great run, and it's been a while since we've been back in the national championship. So it's tough. So enjoy it while you can.
Yep. Definitely.
But anyway.
Okay, back to bourbon.
I know. I can talk football.
Me too. I can talk football. I can talk basketball, baseball. I'm the big sporty fan here. Bill is, I mean, you like the Broncos. You don't really like
hockey and baseball. I mean, I like football too. It's just, especially with the Broncos sucking as of late.
Yeah.
It's just like
makes it tough.
Yes, it does.
Yep.
But yeah, hockey, I love hockey. That's my sport. I'm a St. Louis Cardinals and St. Louis Blues diehard fan. So.
And a Broncos fan.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I'm a Royals fan, a Chiefs fan, and I never grew up in a city that had hockey at all, actually, because I lived on the Kansas City side of things and he lived on the St. Louis side of things. So no hockey for me.
Yeah, none for me either. I did like the Mighty Ducks. That was my one.
Oh, heck yeah.
Gotta have that flying V.
That's right.
But anyway, have you on to talk about some whiskey and the whole what is the whole shebang is
the whole
shebang. Is that what Kenny called it?
Yes, the whole shebang. We're really bad at marketing, and we couldn't think of a better name for the experience because it's like a little bit of everything. And so Kenny said, "Why don't we just call it whole shebang?" And I was like, "That sounds perfect,"
Yeah.
So
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got out there to see a little bit of it because we were only able to spend a little bit of time out there. And that's a pretty cool setup you have with all the barrels, and I'm sure you'll talk about it here in a minute. But if anyone's out there, you definitely got to go check this out.
It's awesome. It's really cool. And also, thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
I know your schedule is crazy, and we appreciate having you for a little bit. So
I'm always down to talk bourbon. So I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're having me. I love doing this. So this is fun.
Oh, and if anyone has any questions, be sure to throw them into chat right now.
We'll try to keep up with them.
Yeah, I'm not going to read every chat tonight like I always do. It actually is kind of a bad habit. Not that I don't love you guys, but also I have a really bad habit of just like, oh, so-and-so said hello. So-and-so said hello. And then I spend the entire stream saying hello to everyone. So hello, everyone. So glad you're here. I love you all, and I appreciate you.
This is why we're podcasters, because I can't keep up with comments. I just get to talk to Kenny and another guest, so it makes it
Mhm.
easy. I
Yeah.
respect you YouTubers who, you know, check the comments, write back, talk to them. I'm impressed.
It's funny because most of the time, if people see us out in public, they think that we're podcasters.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, you have that podcast."
Yeah, you just kind of get lumped into one big category. I
Mhm.
know it. Oh, Sean York. Shout out to Sean York. I'll do it.
He
One of
said
our
he's coming out to do that whole shebang in April. Super stoked.
He's one of our awesome brand ambassadors there in Denver, Colorado. Sean's
Mhm.
awesome, and his wife Amy's even better. She's cool. She's so fun to be around.
Agreed. We love them. They're awesome people, and we've got to see them a few times out and about.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
But
always a
yeah,
great time.
if you want to talk about the whole thing you have set up there and kind of let everyone know what it all is.
Yeah. So Kenny and I, we had started our bourbon brand back in 2018, mostly doing single barrels, working with a broker. But then in 2019, we really started working on our small batch product and what that was going to look like and how we would be different. And so we started reaching out to, distilleries across the country, just trying to find out how can we be something different, not just another sourced, and there's nothing wrong with this. We love MGP, we love Barton, but that's what a lot of paths that brands take, and that's totally fine. We just want to do something interesting and unique. And so we decided to do the contract distillation path and partner with Bardstown Bourbon Company, an undisclosed Tennessee distillery. It's the only one we can't tell you, but it's in Columbia, Tennessee, if you want to look it up. It's not George Dickel. And also this awesome craft distillery in Finger Lakes, New York. Well, it's an awesome concept, and we've had some great traction with it, but it logistically just became, we were using Bardstown Bourbon Company as kind of our facility. They have a great space there where they allow brands to come in, do blending, processing, do everything. They let you be a part of the whole process, but just, they have 60 other contract clients that work with them. It just became more and more challenging to do that. And so we looked to kind of be more in control of the process ourselves. And so we started looking for a facility, and we landed at a home there in the Butchertown neighborhood in Louisville. So if you're in Louisville, if you've ever been to like the Silver Dollar, or where Copper and Kings is, or of course everyone's been downtown, like in the Nulu area where kind of Justin's and Evergreen, Old Carter is. We're about a mile from there. So we got this facility to kind of help us. It's a 16,000 square foot building to where we can bring in our barrels from our 4 partner distilleries, and we can really focus on the art of blending, selection, and stuff. Because this kind of came a challenge doing that out of Bardstown bourbon. It's not their fault; it's our fault for making it such a complicated process. But we landed in this facility. It's a beautiful space, and while this is going on too, we decided to invest in a property in downtown Louisville, because we've seen just the rise of bourbon tourism in downtown Louisville. And so we landed a lease on 722 West Main. So we're going to have a downtown facility that will be a visitor's experience. We'll have pick your own barrel experience that I'll talk about, and a classroom where we'll teach you about blending, cocktails, food pairings, and whatnot. And then we'll have a full-on bar in the basement, where you can have cocktails. You can do, if you don't want to do a curated experience and you just want to taste stuff, there'll be a tasting bar. There'll be a lot of our barrel picks we've done through the Bourbon Pursuit podcast. But while that's being built, it's under construction right now, and we hope for it to be open in September of this year.
And that's over near like where the Michter's and Bardstown Bourbon Company is.
Correct.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. We'll be literally neighbors to Bardstown Bourbon Company and right across the street from Michter's. So we're super excited about that space. But we decided that, hey, we have this pretty cool warehouse and a lot of space. Why don't we start working on those experiences that we're going to be offering at our downtown location? And so in October, we started piloting what we call the whole shebang, which is what we intended to create at the downtown location. And so Kenny and I, and I'm sure you all have, and a lot of whiskey fans have been on a ton of bourbon tours and bourbon experiences. And we've had the luxury of just seeing what was interesting, what was kind of boring, what could be added to make a unique experience when you come to Kentucky that you're excited about. You don't get to do at most places, and you get to take something home with you that's unique to you. And so we went with the bottle your own barrel pick experience. So we call it the whole shebang because you get to do a tasting of our core expressions, and you get to hear about the story of how Kenny and I got started with the podcast and with the brand, why we picked the distilleries that we work with, how we partner with them, what's unique about us. But then you get to go into your own barrel pick experience. So that we have about 8 barrels laid out for folks that they can taste straight from the barrel. And all these barrels are micro blends of our core product, which is the Pursuit United bourbon. So for anyone that doesn't know, our Pursuit United bourbon is a blend of our 3 contract distilleries that make our bourbon for us. It's that Bardstown Bourbon Company, the Undisclosed Tennessee, and then the Finger Lakes, New York. Well, we're trying to figure out, okay, how do we do a single barrel at being a blended company? Because our art is in blending, and we really wanted to showcase that. But originally we thought, well, we'll just let folks pick a component of each, that goes in the blend. And then very quickly, we realized, well, that kind of detracts from what we're good at. And 2, it's like, okay, well, what if somebody just starts picking a ton of New York barrels or a ton of Kentucky barrels or Tennessee? And then you're like, there's like this, unevenness to it. And we thought this would be the best way that we could. And 2, you've been on single barrel picks where you're at a barrel pick and you're just kind of like nitpicking because they taste very similar, and you're like, it's a similar profile, but I really want something. So we thought we could create micro blends. And because we're in this unique position, we have those 3 different facilities. We're working with 3 different cooperages. We have different toast and char levels on all of our barrels to create different flavor profiles. We said, what if we take and make micro blends out of those 3 core expressions, and then make different blends that have different flavor profiles based on just doing blending and putting them back in the barrels they came out of. And we didn't know that it would work, but after about 30 to 45 days, we started realizing that, wow, the barrel is changing and we can create really interesting, unique flavor profiles. So when you come and pick a barrel from us, you're going to get each barrel is going to taste completely different, and you can choose something that you're really excited about. And so we open this up to consumers, because a lot of consumers, unless you're a YouTuber or a liquor store or a bourbon group, you don't really get to go on a barrel pick. You're going to a distillery, you're tasting their core expressions, or maybe they have one with, their limited releases, and those are all fun, but you don't really get to take away something that's yours, that you chose.
Right.
And so we thought, here's an opportunity for us that we can offer customers an awesome experience where they get to do a barrel pick experience, but they're not committed to buying an entire barrel, and they can pick that bottle that speaks to them. And you go through the whole process. That's why we call it the whole shebang. You fill it up with a whiskey thief, your bottle. You go through the bottling line, the pneumatic corker machine, then you go put the label on it, and then you put the neck label on it, and then you put the heat seal, and then you put your own sticker on it and sign it, your name and what the occasion was, the date, which barrel you selected. And so it's been a huge success. We've been kind of blown away. We were kind of nervous opening up in October, November, because November to February is kind of a slow season in tourism here in Kentucky. And so we're kind of nervous, but also too, it kind of gave us some time to like be able to practice and do it right for when we move this to downtown. And so it's been very successful. We've been blown away by the reception. Folks are absolutely loving it. And we're just excited to get our brand in front of more people. It's, I'm kind of rambling here, so cut me off at any time.
No,
Well,
you're fine.
One thing I was going to ask, because I know when we were out there, we didn't try all the barrels, but I think we tried like 3 or 4 of the bourbons, and I think 1 or 2 ryes.
Correct. Yes.
But does everyone get to do the thieving out of those? That does the experience there?
Yeah, so you don't get to thieve the actual samples, and that's not because we don't want you to.
Yeah.
It's Kentucky state law, so we have to thieve it out and pour those for you. But
Okay.
once you go fill your, this is how crazy laws are. Once you go fill your own bottle, you can fill your own bottle with the thief. So what we do, you come in, you hear that guided tasting, and then you go to the barrel pick experience. We have the samples pre-poured for you, 8 samples. We give you a notepad, notebook to take, and we give you about 30 to 45 minutes to just sit down, hang out with the folks that you're at. We usually cap these at 15 people, so it's a real intimate experience where you can, be with the group you want, or you can meet somebody new if you want to. And I think that's what's fun about it, is people get, they start meeting each other, talking, where are you from, what are you doing here, and then they start talking about the whiskey, and it just creates, bourbon's that magical thing that once people, start being around it, and other folks that like it, they're in a community and they feel in a safe zone where they can start enjoying themselves and talking about it. But so you can only just fill it, the bottle, but you get to do everything else through the bottling line yourself.
I think that's so cool. It's such a unique experience because I don't know anyone else that's doing that, but it's like an opportunity that people aren't going to get to do unless they really are in the industry, like deep inside the industry somehow, or they have some kind of connection. So it really kind of just brings to the forefront, like, okay, these are just normal everyday people that love bourbon just like all of us, and they get to come in and do something so special, and then walk away with something that they picked themselves, not because, oh, they were forced into a decision because a group wanted this one or that one, or influenced by Joe and Bob and Annie. I think it's so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I wanted to the thieving out of your own barrel and picking it wasn't 100% our idea. Whiskey Thief was already doing that in Frankfurt, but it's much different because you're going into a barn. They have people that are pulling out of the barrels, serving you the samples, but you're not really like sitting down, kind of analyzing them, breaking them down, having that camaraderie. And so they had the idea, but we just kind of built off that and kind of just wanted to make it, like the barrel picks that we've been on, so many times. I mean, Kenny and I, it's crazy. We've probably done over 300 to 400 barrel picks,
Wow.
and they never get old just because you're around other like-minded people that enjoy bourbon. You can really just sit down and be present, for that hour and a half you're there. And we just wanted to really recreate this for the everyday consumer that doesn't just get a chance to do that themselves.
Yeah. Somebody said, yeah, that's such a great idea.
Yeah,
Definitely
it is.
agree. We have a few questions on here if you don't mind if we pop in a few. Let's see here. Raging Irishman planning to make a trip to Kentucky later this year. We don't know when yet. How early do we need to make a reservation?
Yeah, so we have folks that are already booking for like the PGA, which is in May. Derby obviously is that first week in May. We have people already trying to book for September. A lot of folks come in for Bourbon Festival and Bourbon and Beyond. And so it's never too early, but I would say right now we're seeing people book out about 3 to 4 weeks in advance.
Ooh, I have a random question. If you had to pick Bourbon and Beyond or Bourbon on the Banks, which would you pick? Like if you were an out-of-towner.
Well, they're two totally different things. So
Right.
if you're really into whiskey and you want to go like try a bunch of whiskey, be around whiskey consumers, learn about brands, then Bourbon on the Banks or Bourbon Festival is going to be home run. If you're going for music and you're not, I mean, you like bourbon, but you're not really there to like Bourbon Beyond is really music focused. I mean, there's going to be a lot of bourbon folks there, a lot of brands there, but it's loud, it's crowded. So it's hard to like have that intimate experience like you can at Bourbon Festival or Bourbon on the Bank. So they're just two different kind of, I guess, dynamics going on between those two. I know a lot of people pushed for it to be 2 separate weekends, but I thought it was awesome being the same weekend because you could hit Bourbon Festival. You really need, Bourbon Festival's 3 days, but you could probably 2 days is probably a good time to there. So a lot of folks would do 2 days of Bourbon Festival and then pick the artists that they like the most and go that day to Bourbon and Beyond. But now I get they've split them up into 2 separate weekends. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that's interesting. I saw there's so many awesome headliners that are going to be at Bourbon
Oh
Beyond.
my
I was
gosh,
like,
I know. Zach Bryan's going, and I'm like like
Oh,
geeking
okay.
out already. I've been wanting to see
Tyler
him for a
Childers.
while. Yes.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're possibly coming out for Bourbon on the Banks first weekend of October, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll be back out there. We try to make it, a couple times a year. I think Louisville's kind of become our second home. Kentucky, we'd like to be Kentucky residents, maybe Tennessee, but somewhere out there. So.
Yeah, it's a great place to live.
Yeah, another one there.
Another question. Are you doing bottle sales at the warehouse, or is that going to be at the West Main only?
So we'll do both. We have the ability to do both. Kentucky has passed great legislation that allows producers to sell out of gift shops and at the distillery as well. So we'll have both, but we will probably have, which we're going to be announcing a few soon. We will have probably like distillery only releases and downtown only releases as well. And so, and two, a lot of this stuff will actually move to downtown. It's just going to be a much more, I guess, more consumer friendly space, because as you all saw, it's a working facility. It's a warehouse. There's bottling equipment, there's air compressors, there's pallets, there's glass, there's, all the components of a warehouse, which a lot of people actually enjoy that because, most of the bourbon experience you go to are what I call bourbon bougie. They're with the big brands and they make them nice and fancy and clean. And, but people really like the rusticness and the kind of just the raw authenticity of this place.
Yeah. Yeah. The realness of it. It's like, you're really doing this.
That's a big warehouse you guys have.
It
It's
is
huge.
It's massive. So it's way too big for what we're doing now, and probably will be way too big for what we have planned for the next 3 to 4 years. But we saw that space and the location of it. It's only 2.5 miles from our downtown location. And so it allows us to utilize all that space downtown for retail or, just, you hate to say this, but we are in business, revenue generating space versus just being storage space to help, help that facility go. So it's massive. I mean, it's 16,000 square feet. If we fill it up, then things are going great.
It's going to be awesome. No, I believe in you guys, and what you're doing is so cool. So,
well, thank you.
I don't know if I caught it or you didn't say it. I can't quite remember it. But when did you say the downtown location will be open?
September.
September of this year. That's the goal.
Okay.
It was supposed to be May of this year. We were supposed to be open before Derby of this year, but obviously that got pushed. This is, if you take one thing away from this whole stream, don't start a bourbon brand and don't try to build a facility in downtown Louisville. It's a nightmare. There's so much codes and regulations and historical boards and this and that to get through. Things just take a lot of time and a lot of money. We should just stay podcasters.
You need your $500 million, fake MGP deal. Not fake. Not fake. You need a $500 million MGP-ish type deal.
Exactly. That would be extremely helpful. So if anyone has those, we'll take it.
I was laughing so hard at your guys' last round table because you were talking about, you're like, if anyone wants to just, buy us for $500 million.
Yeah, no doubt. Put us out of our misery.
That's kind of like something super interesting because on the outside, it looks like everything's going so well, so smooth, and everything's hunky-dory, and you guys are putting out great whiskey, and everybody loves it, and everybody's super excited. But what are the biggest challenges you're seeing? Because like you said, there's like a lot of red tape. There's a lot of, code and stuff like that you have to get through.
Yeah, I mean, the regulatory side is definitely a big challenge. There's a lot of building codes and, certain cities like Louisville adopts a newer building code, but then the state of Kentucky, who manages distilleries, with older building codes. And so there's just always like these gray areas that you're trying to navigate, and then you navigate them and then they get shut down. And so you're just constantly like in a, ask for forgiveness, not permission kind of.
Okay.
And so that's definitely been a challenge. And two, just kind of getting, we were so blessed with Bardstown Bourbon Company, where you show up and while you're part of the process, they have a great team and an amazing facility there at their bottling line where, everything is automated, this and that. And we're just really like figuring this out. I've never bottled anything. Kenny's never bottled anything. when we dumped barrels, that was the first time I've ever, dumped barrels and put them in a tank and blended them. And first time I've ever proofed anything. And, it's just like you're learning, you're constantly like reinventing yourself every day, trying to figure things out. So, but it's fun. That's part of my DNA. It's like when things get kind of calm, I get kind of complacent and bored. So it's always like fun to push and challenge yourself. But that's the biggest hurdle is navigating. We have great architect team and a great some consultants that help us with it. It's just always something. It's always something. But from the product side, I mean, we feel like we're really getting dialed in. Learning how we're 6 years into this now, I guess. Yeah, it's since 2018, and we're really starting to understand how our whiskey's coming out of, each facility, where the kind of the honey holes are in the warehouses, where the barrels that we're going to pull from, and understanding how they're going to work together. So we're really feeling confident about the product side, but distribution is like a nightmare. We have great distributors in some states. We have some that are just, you're like banging your head against the wall. And, too, there's just these retailers and distributors bought so much inventory during those pandemic years that they're still sitting on. And so when you're a new brand trying to like convince a store owner, a distributor to take you on, they're like, okay, well, I have all this stuff I need to clear out. I'm excited about that, but I can't take you on. And then you throw in higher interest rates. So retailers and liquor stores aren't able to pantry buy like they used to. Like we used to be able to, like in 2020, 21, and 22, we could bottle once or twice a year and sell it out completely to distributors because they would take it all. But now they're, they want just like as they need it, because with interest rates, they just can't sit on inventory and pay interest on it, like they used to. And so it's just trying to figure out the cadence of like what's too much product, what's not enough, and all those challenges. And then, trying to make sure you have all the raw goods and materials, because you have your head down trying to get this warehouse going, and your downtown location, then you need to bottle, and you're like, oh my gosh, we're out of like labels, we need to order them, and they're on a 3-week lead time, and you're like, oh my gosh, just stuff like that's it's always something.
So I have 2 questions. One of them, I don't know if you can actually state it or not, but I know, like, I'm looking at the bourbon here. It's the Kentucky, Tennessee, and New York. When you guys, these are all batch, because this one's like batch 11 CD. Do you guys batch at the same percentage every time, or do you have to taste it, kind of figure out the percentage of the different?
Yeah, they're different each time. Okay. I mean, we kind of have, an idea of where to start based on, the flavor profiles that each mash bill has. So we have 2 rye bourbons. So we have an 80-10-10 made in Tennessee. That's a rye bourbon. Then we have our Bardstown Bourbon Company, which is a 78-10-12 mash bill. And then we have a wheated bourbon. The New York is a wheated bourbon, 70-20-10. So we kind of have a understanding of how those 3 will work together. But because our batches they're literally true small batches. They're about 10 barrels in each batch. The biggest one we ever did was like 30. And so with that, when you have that small batch sizes, you have to be really intentional and choosy about the barrels, because one barrel can throw a blend off one way or the other. And so they're different each time, just based on, I'm obsessive about tasting every barrel and making sure like that if I basically categorize barrels into 4 different flavor profiles, and obviously they have more flavors than this, but the predominant flavor is sweet, fruity, oaky, and spicy. And so I categorize them that way. And based on those 4 predominant notes, I kind of know how to like which additions or subtractions I need to make on each blend.
Yeah. And then the other one is related to the batch numbers. Like I said, do all the bottles now have batch numbers? Because I think our rye that's over here, it's an older one, doesn't actually have a batch number on it.
Yeah, so batch 1 and 2 did not have a batch code on it. And then our fans were like, well, how do we determine each batches? And we're like, yeah, we probably should put a batch code on there,
Yeah.
But
that's the whole thing now.
Well, but distributors and retailers push back on that, because they're like, well, I don't want to, people to be obsessed about one batch. And then
Yep.
the next thing you know, I have this batch and then you have this new batch. And then I got three, I got 10 batches on my shelf, so,
Yep.
Yep.
so we try to make it subtle though for those, and we don't try to emphasize it as much, but for those that want to know, it's there. And so the batch code is, so that one particular one you said is 11 CD. So the first two numbers will be the month it was bottled, and the last two letters are, it's a code that Kenny came up with that I wish it was just 11-23, but it's A is 0, B is 1, C is 2, et cetera, et cetera. So CD is 23, so 11-23. So like this year, everything will be CE, right? Yeah, is that right? Yeah. See, I can't even figure it out, and I run the damn company.
You're like, why did you do this to me?
But I guess people figure out, the Elijah Craig batches.
Oh my Lord!
Yeah, I was just kind of curious because I just noticed on that bottle didn't have an actual batch number where these other ones have batch numbers.
No, but also like to your point about inventory and things like that, I was just thinking about like conversations we had with some of our local liquor store owners this weekend about, like their inventory. Like some people are just like here in Colorado are overloaded even with like Elijah Craig B520 still.
No, not B520.
No, I've seen like so much
B520. I would be buying it all. B523.
No, but you were like C920 for a long time. B520 was there forever, and B521 was there but the B batches were always here. Anyway, inventory. It's all inventory, but here the issue happened like January 1 of last year when they changed the law to where you could sell like wine and beer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So the wine and beer laws changed to where you can sell those in grocery stores now, and it's killing off like the small mom and pop. It's killing them. Like it is hurting them so much. Like we were talking to one guy and he's like, well, yeah, like I can get the inventory in, but it's like a lot harder to sell now. Like I can only get like, like 5 years ago, I could have gotten a case of this, but now I can only get like maybe one bottle, or I can't get it at all because I can't sell XYZ. So
right. Yeah. It's unfortunate. I've heard a ton of how negative of impact that's been into the retailers in Colorado. And that's it's a shame. And it's like, I don't know the good answer for that one.
Yeah. It's an interesting topic to, consider. 'Cause it's like, you need inventory, you need places to sell it. It's like, is it going to sell better in a liquor store? Is it going to sell better in a grocery store?
It's all state driven.
State driven. Yeah. And it's like, what is the actual answer to that? I have no idea.
Yep.
No clue. Question.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Two more questions. Well, I don't have them, but they're up here. Sean has one. These bottles still at 108 proof for the thieving bottle your own ones.
Yeah. So the whole shebang. So they're somewhere between 107 and 111 proof. And I try to start them out at 108, but they change in the barrels when they sit there. So I've gone through and hydrometer, but that's inside baseball, but for your sake, yes, they're 108.
So where did the 108 come from? Because like Woodford has was it like 94 point whatever it is. Yeah, whatever their number is. I know they have a specific one. They do all the Woodfords too. So I was kind of curious where the 108 comes from.
Yeah. So when we were developing this product, we did it all by taste because we didn't have a hydrometer. We knew we didn't want to do a cask strength, which we're working on that now. But we just wanted something that was approachable, but also had good barrel characteristics, had some, high proof that you could drink neat, but it's not going to blow somebody's palate off if they're just getting in, but it's also good in a cocktail. So we wanted really something versatile. So when we were doing this, we knew we wanted to kind of be somewhere in 100 to 115 range. And I just did it by taste. And I called my buddy Drew Colesveen at Willett and I said, hey man, I think I have this really good product. I want you to try it, but can I borrow your hydrometer? Cause they're about $30,000 for the true ones. And, so I took it down there and, I was like, please try it. And he's like, man, this is really good. And he's like, well, let's run it through the hydrometer. We put it in there. We wait about 30 seconds. It spits it out. And he goes, man, you're going to love this. It's 108 proof. And I was like, that's perfect. It's not 100, it's not 101, and it's one better than 107. So
yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
and then when I went to do the rye, because we came out the rye about 18 months later after our first bourbon release, and I did the same thing. I just blended it to what I thought tastes best, and same thing. Put in a hydrometer, came out 108. So I guess I like 108 proof whiskey.
Apparently.
That's awesome. That's so
Yeah.
fun.
And then Aaron wants to know, does the whole shebang include getting to drive the fork truck?
Yes, you guys sign a waiver, and we'll put you in the side where none of the barrels and stuff are, where it's just
Oh my
wide
gosh,
open.
I would love to do that actually. Could that should be like included
Set up
in?
like a little go-kart
You have to
track.
pay an extra like you just pay an extra $2,500, no $2,500 because of the insurance.
Exactly.
So you need to pay extra $2,500 to do that.
Yeah, I love that forklift. Like, I have a lawn care company too, and we have this pretty decent forklift, but it's like a propane. It's probably 20 years old, but we got this one because obviously you're around alcohol. You have to have an all electric battery one, explosion proof. So we had to lease out this crazy expensive one, but man, it is sweet. It is like, I love driving that thing.
That's so funny.
It was funny. Frank from Burb Your Enthusiasm stopped in today, and he commented on the forklift. He's like, "There's that forklift. I want to drive it." And I was like, "Go!" I was like, "Go ahead." And he's like, "No, I can't do it."
That would be me. I would like I have this like ADD, like instant ADD. So anything I see that I want to try, I'm like, oh, that seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe like one
Reel you
pour
back
of
a little bit.
like one pour of bourbon in, like give me
Yeah.
okay, that seems like a great idea.
Yeah, there's probably not going to be forklifts. Kenny would lose his mind if I said people could start driving forklifts.
Yeah. Luke said he's forklift certified. Is that because
If you bring your papers, then maybe we'll let you.
Yeah. Is that because of Evernorth?
Evernorth. Yeah, you're probably
Right.
Evernorth out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's so funny. So I was just thinking back to when I first got into bourbon, which has been a couple of years now, but it's really funny because we were driving back to a vacation at our family lake house, and Bill's like, okay, if you really want to learn about bourbon, you need to listen to Bourbon Pursuit. No, seriously, he did. And so we listened to you guys like maybe like half of our drive, like probably like a good like 4 or 6 hours while we were driving there. And I was like, okay, it kind of makes sense now. But like when you're really new into bourbon and you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much confusion. Listen, all those men out there, and even like there's a lot of women too. Just listen to you guys. Listen to your show, listen to everything you guys are doing because you guys are doing the right way. So
well, we were the dummies, and we still are the dummies that didn't know anything. And so we just went on this path of interviewing and learning from the best in the industry. And that's, I think, why it's resonated with so many people, because we came in and just from a pure enthusiasm about the category, but also just curiosity. And I think it really helps you understand this category in a much better way, where you can go to a shelf and understand what is, looking for a state of distillation, what is produced by versus bottled by or distilled by, or, this way you can feel more confident as a consumer, knowing that what you're purchasing is actually what you think you're getting.
It's so interesting because I would have never, like, obviously I was super green. I mean, I even hated the smell of bourbon. I hated the taste of bourbon. I thought it was like, it was not my thing. Like, but I had never been really like introduced to it in a way that made me see it that way. So it's, I don't know.
Well, what you probably had was like the well whiskeys and
no, I didn't. I just
taking shots of.
I just smelled it. It was just something about the smell. But like, since like my mind changed, everything changed. Like it just changed. But we're kind of the same way. Like we've come into it just. You knew a lot about it, but I knew nothing.
Stuff all the time.
But I think that would be true for every person in the industry. Like whether you're like super green or not, you're still learning every day, and so that's what's really fun about it. But I was
doubt.
very, very, very green, and so I think that's kind of fun. That's all we wanted to do with our channel was just have this representation of this is my journey. We didn't even know we were doing bourbon when we started out. Had no clue. Like. I had barely tried it. Honestly, the first video we ever filmed, this is embarrassing.
Never made the light of day.
It never made the light of day, but I honestly wish I had it just for like a memory's sake. But It was in the garage next to our weight bench. So we have like I don't know, all of our gym equipment in the garage. And I'm out there and I'm using a jump box as my like set. So that my jump box was my set, and I had 12 different seltzers. And I was like, I'm going to blind all these seltzers and like, what is the best seltzer? Because everybody was into seltzers, like into 2020, 21, maybe early 2021.
No, that's 21. Yeah.
Yeah. 21. Everybody was into seltzers, and it was the hot thing. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to try all these different, like, I'm going to try seltzers in this video. Another video, I'm going to do maybe whiskey. Another video, I'll do like beer. But so my very first video that ever came out was on pumpkin beers. Yep. And so
I like pumpkin beers. Those are good.
I'm an IPA person. Sometimes I like pumpkin
beers. I love
too.
IPAs, but yeah, definitely. I appreciate good beer. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, that's just where it started. And then it was like one video on me trying. I think I tried my very first like actual like whiskey video was on Buffalo Trace.
No,
so
it wasn't.
It wasn't?
No,
it was
Scotch.
My video?
Yeah.
What?
Didn't you try one of the scotches, the peated scotches?
No, that's what I tried. The very first thing I tried, but I'm talking about video-wise.
Oh.
The very first video was the one in the living room. It was like budget bourbons.
I
don't know. It was really bad. So we went from doing it in the garage to the living room. So the fall pumpkin beers were in the corner next to the TV, and then just it all progressed. But you know what? It was.
We started the same way. So our first episode was in the basement, and I don't think we recorded it, but we didn't air that one. We deleted it because we were listening to her like, no one's gonna listen to this. and then we had a couple where we just forgot to press record. We thought we had gold, and then we had to go re-interview the person and this and that. It's like we've made all the mistakes, and not to say that you all have made mistakes. I'm just saying we all. Yeah, we
still do.
Like, I feel like our first 50 episodes sucked. Like they were just bad, but we just did it and kept failing forward. That's our motto.
I was going to say, fail forward. Fail until you learn. I feel like I do that with my job. I like work in marketing now, and I worked in TV for 10 years. So it was really, it's a big transition. Like I'm marketing for a law firm, and I'm just thinking like, okay, I can do this, but it's also just, you fail and you learn, and you fail and you learn, and you fail and you keep trying and you keep trying. As long as you keep trying and you keep learning, then that's where the end result comes out. And it's like, okay, that was a little success. Like you have to appreciate like every little simple milestone. Meanwhile, every single subscriber. So I'm like, woo, we gained one new subscriber. Oh yeah.
Every subscriber, I hear about it.
But every single, I'm crazy. I'm like every single one. I'm like, oh my gosh, one more. Like we just gained another one. Or this video has X amount of views, and I am constantly like the analysis. Like I get the analysis paralysis really bad. But
I'm just waiting for that 10K because I really want that dusty beam that my mom found.
Oh yeah, his mom found this. Okay, show.
It's a pre-1960 beam shooter.
Oh, nice.
1947 to 19. I thought you said
based on the tax stamp, it's like 1940 something to 1960, somewhere in that range.
That's awesome.
His aunt. My aunt. Your aunt. So she had like this crazy old Fitz decanter too, but it was empty.
Close. You're all close. 10K is not too far away for y'all.
Yeah, it's what are you thinking? April, May?
I don't know. It just depends on but.
Well, hopefully we'll get you some out of this.
Yeah, it's been crazy, honestly. Like we started changing the way, you're always analyzing and doing something new. And it's like you want to come up with something unique that not everyone is doing. And it's always trial and error, right? Like certain things work, and then things that you think are going to work don't work. And it's just be yourself and have fun and just be like, you just
got to do the drink this, don't drink, or top 5 bourbons better than Blanton's. And that'll get you more followers every time.
No.
It's just that's the formula.
Yeah,
it's the formula. The list. No, we started doing new stuff. We finally got an Osmo this weekend that we were using. So
a small pocket camera thing. So.
Oh, I just ordered one of those too. They're sweet.
They're cool.
It's great.
No, they work amazing, and they're amazing, and they're like so little stuff. Or if you want to do shorts or whatever, since YouTube's like forcing everyone into that direct, or Instagram too. Like all of social media is now like vertical, which is crazy to think about, because I remember working in TV and we were like, horizontal video. If somebody doesn't send it, we're not putting it on TV. We're not like whiting out the corners, like it was a whole thing, like shoot horizontally.
So
yeah, the short
But
form
now,
content's the bane of our existence. It's
Yeah.
like, we've, Brian Bikey does all of our social media stuff, and he's a master at it. He's so good at taking, great. I don't even know how he does it. I'm like, he just films stuff where I ain't looking and then turns them into reels, and it's like, but I just like, it takes him forever to make a 45-second reel, and it's like, gosh, you reduced this talented guy down to 45-second clips, but that's just the way it is. Our ADD minds have just like, that's what gets traffic.
it is crazy. It is crazy. Julie,
Yeah, Julie says hi.
Julie, I was just
Hi,
thinking,
Julie.
okay, I need to text you also, but also
Yeah.
I was just thinking of you, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I told you
Yeah, 'cause-
earlier, I said, I miss Julie. I need to text
'Cause
her.
I think Julie and Dan were out there with the Junkies doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
And
yeah,
Ryan, I think.
that
Yeah.
Julie. Yeah, Julie's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had a great time that day. They picked 2 barrels that day. They were awesome.
Anything
What else?
on there?
Anything? I was like, any
Nope.
other questions? Oh, yeah.
Well, Luke asked, was that a Southern Tier? That was a pumpkin beer. It was not a Southern Tier. We've had it though.
Oh, Southern Tier Pumpkin. That is
Yeah.
good. Or the Warlock. Oh, that's good
So
stuff.
so what's your all's favorite Colorado distillery right now?
Oh,
What type of whiskey?
Bourbon.
Bourbon? We were just talking about this earlier.
Bourbon or rye?
I think one of the best bourbons in Colorado is Boulder Spirits.
Okay.
Their cash strength bourbon.
are
is
they
really
not
good.
MGP?
No, I'm pretty sure they're
Okay,
their
No,
own.
Boulder distills their own.
Yeah.
So the thing is,
I know
like,
Fred loves them.
Yeah, they have a really good cash strength bourbon.
I have not tried a lot of it, so I don't know. But I would say that's a really interesting question, mainly because most of what Colorado is
There's a
doing
lot
is
of single
sourcing.
malt.
It's like sourcing MGP, so it's hard to say. It's like, oh, well, that's really good because it's MGP sourced. But
There's a lot of single malts too, with Stranahan's and then some other places around.
Yeah.
Spirit Hound. Okay, that is one that is like
They have a good rye.
Okay, they have like a crazy, like, I know, like, single malt is not the, like, that's an interesting topic. Single malts are really interesting, but like they have this crazy, like, hazmat single malt, like
They
that
had a
is
hazmat rye too.
wait, and they released them like, yeah, the hazmat rye. Their stuff, but their like distillation and their operation is super interesting. Like, just going there, there's an older guy. Bill is his name.
I cannot remember his name.
That's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what his name was.
But it's just like, it's super interesting. What would I say? Okay, people always ask me this. I'm like, oh.
It seems like people in Colorado, and forgive me for making this conclusion, but I was there 3 times last year, and they're really into single malts or rye whiskey, not so much bourbon, it seems like.
Which is
100% agree.
so weird. Not saying that it's wrong.
Well,
You're wrong, Colorado. But
I wish that was the case, and those bourbons were sitting on the shelves at liquor stores, but they're not.
There's the Colorado whiskey world is very interesting.
Yeah.
Not saying there's anything wrong, but there's a lot of good like MGP barrels here.
Mm-hmm. Well, then Old Elk has their facility, which they're doing their own stuff now.
They are now.
Yeah, I love Old Elk. Yeah.
Yep. Greg Metz is there now, and he used to be the master distiller at MGP.
Yep.
And then
big fan of Old Elk.
Yeah, we like Old Elk a lot too. And then
Sean just said Old Elk.
Yeah, Old Elk. Yeah, Old Elk. I mean, Copper Sky has really good MGP, the light whiskey too, or they have light whiskey. They have good MGP barrels.
I was going with Colorado, actually, not sourced.
I know. I'm trying to think of like not sourced though, but when someone asks you, I'm like, oh crap.
Well, I had my answer.
I don't
What's
know.
the 3 Chambers rye or something? Isn't that
Leopold Brothers.
Leopold.
I would just say that no, I mean, like, that's just not my jam.
It's not our jam.
Gotcha.
I know some people love that. It's got a weird taste to it that you have to be expecting.
It's very
unique.
I think it's very like pastury. Like, it tastes youthful, but it's not like, I don't know. It's just different. It's different. The 3 Chambers rye, it's super different. It's like one of those like really creamy. So you get like that super, super creamy effect, but it's
yeah. See, it's unique. It's all to your own profile.
Yeah, it's all there.
Jacoby's just said he likes that 3 chamber.
Yeah. See, and there's nothing wrong with that. Definitely not.
Oh, definitely.
No.
Everybody has their preference. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what's beautiful about the category. Do y'all see any trends or anything you're like excited about for upcoming, or what are you wanting to see out of producers this year? Now I'm turning it into the interviewer.
Yeah.
No. But I thought that was an interesting question because we were talking about this earlier and like watching your guys' like predictions for this year and everything. I feel like I know like Penelope was a big thing, like with the big and up, like, you know, getting even bigger this year. But I think like Ben Holiday is going to be like
I think Ben
really,
Holiday's getting
really,
bigger.
really big. And some of the stuff that they're doing is super cool. Like we went there over Christmas. So like after
No, it's
before we saw you guys, and some of their cave stuff and what they're doing is really cool. Like they're just, I don't know.
I think a lot of the distilleries over the past 5 years or so since the bourbon boom, 4 years, whatever it is, since the bourbon boom started, I think there's going to be more supply of some of the things that are more limited. I think. I don't know if that'll happen this year, next year, but in the near future. And then I do think there are some of those smaller craft whiskey places that might not make it around. But just kind of because there's just so much whiskey out there.
That's the interesting thing is the inventory conversation. It's like how much inventory? Because like, you know, over COVID, it seemed like that really, really spiked things, right? Was
Well,
like
there wasn't the inventory. That's
no
why we can't
no
find
inventory.
stuff
But
now.
I'm saying like the spike of everybody deciding to like start over, like maybe like increasing production was maybe over
Yeah,
COVID
like
time,
Buffalo
2018
Trace's
even.
been building stuff. Everyone's building stuff now to get that inventory.
But it's like, at what point does that inventory like, okay, you're like reaching your peak. So you've got, you know, your like peak inventory over the last whatever 20 years, and your supply and your demand of it is like even higher. I
I
don't
think
know. I'm
that's what
just
a
really
lot of
the hands.
distilleries are asking themselves: how much Weller 12 is too much on the market, or how
Oh.
much Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, or how much, you know,
right.
For
like,
Buffalo Trace's sake, I don't think there's ever too much of that. It's still going to get bought.
It is, but it's like, at what point is there going to be a price plateau?
well,
Are we
I
going to
just think
see?
back to like when I was, and I could get Weller 12 at Rite Aid for, you know, a handle for $30, and like I thought it was good, but I didn't like go. I wasn't like gaga over it. You know, it was really good whiskey, but I wasn't like, because it was so available, you know. But then when it loses that, you know, availability, it creates that scarcity and that mindset. So it's going to be fascinating to see when there's, you know, there is availability everywhere. Does it lose momentum that way? I don't know. Who knows?
Oh, it's a waiting game because they have to produce for 10 years from now or 5 years
I
from
can't
now
wait
or
to
whatever it
see.
is. So it's
I can't wait to see. I hear you.
No, I mean, I'm like 10 years from now, I cannot wait to see what the bourbon industry looks like. Like, I hope that we are like these new pioneers, you know, modern day pioneers for bourbon. And we
Well-
look from 10 years from now and we're like, oh my gosh, like we were the real.
I was listening to one of your podcasts yesterday. I don't remember when it was. And I cannot remember the guy that was on there. It was the guy that was the whiskey collector guy. What was his name? It's from just a couple days ago that I think it came out. But he was talking about, I guess tequila has now kind of oversold whiskey.
Yeah, tequila's passed up bourbon in the American whiskey. So
But
it's
also-
like tequila is number one, and then it's bourbon, and then vodka is right there. Actually, vodka might be in front of bourbon, but tequila definitely surpassed bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, like, I thought that was an interesting conversation, though. It was like the tequila boom is here, and I think it's going to start fading.
The tequila boom? I don't know.
I think it's going to start fading. Like, I think it is.
I think it is.
I think so too. Like, I think that like bourbon is like more of a sustainable thing. Like tequila, for some reason, like I think you were saying it or Kenny was saying it, but like most bourbon lovers don't have a palate for the tequila like they do for bourbon, and it's
I
not.
don't. I've tried, and I mean, I can tolerate it, but I definitely don't enjoy it. I do love a good margarita, and that's why I came up with the rye Rita, which I make a margarita using our rye whiskey, and it's amazing. But tequila by itself, it's just, and I've tried. Everybody says no, you haven't tried this, and I have tried them, and it's just like they're okay. I just don't enjoy them as much as bourbon.
Same. I
But
agree with you.
I grew up in Kentucky and I've been brainwashed with bourbon for 30 years. So
No, I totally agree with you. I'm the same way. I like tequila and I love margaritas. I don't like on its own. I mean it's fine. It's not though. I don't get the depth. Like the depth and the complexity that I get out of bourbon that I really enjoy. But the thing about
I wonder if part of that has to do with age, unless you're going to like an anejo or
are
something
you
like
talking
Yeah.
about age of me?
No,
Oh,
age of the whiskey or tequila.
oh. No,
Because
but
the anejo is what, 2 years, I think.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I would love to make a dill margarita with your rye. Like I was
Oh,
just
yeah.
having your rye a little bit and
That's
like
not the
or
rye.
not this one, but I was just drinking this earlier and I like even when we were there was that one barrel that was super deal forward to me and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that would make a great margarita, a rye margarita." A dill
Try
one
it
though.
next
Like so
time,
you had to
dude.
put a dickle or a dill pickle spear in it.
I'd down to try it. I just next time you make a margarita, do 2 ounces of rye, do a half ounce of agave, and then an ounce of lime juice. And I'm telling you, it'll be the best rye-rita or margarita you've had.
I'll have to try that.
What about a Bloody Mary? Like a really spicy pickled Bloody Mary with your rye. I think that would go over well.
See, I'm not a huge Bloody Mary person. Like, I don't
Me
know. I
either.
think with the acid and the reflux, I get reflux with it, and so it's like
Same.
I like the idea of a Bloody Mary, but like when I try, I'm like, it's just not for me.
Same. I don't normally drink them, but the flavor in my mind right now just kind of sounds good. I don't know.
Aaron asked, is your bourbon available in Texas?
Yes, yeah. Texas is a big market for us. We're in we're in Specs,
Oh.
Total Wine. We're in a lot of mom and pop shops. We're mostly in the Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and Austin regions. If you're in, I'm trying to think, West Texas, we're out there, but it's kind of far and few between. But definitely really big in Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and Austin.
How many states
I
are
was
you
going
guys
to say,
in?
what states are you not
Well,
in?
Currently, we're only in 9 markets. So we're in Texas, Tennessee, Georgia, New Mexico, Colorado, Kentucky, obviously, Illinois. That's 7. What else am I missing? Gosh, why can't I think? This
Are
is
you
why I
Missouri?
don't. Missouri,
Yeah,
yes, Missouri. Missouri is
New
one of our
York?
best states. No, not New York. So we're at
Okay.
8, and then the 9th would be Georgia. We're in Georgia.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yep. And then we're opening up Maryland, DC, and Delaware. So we've been limited to those 9 markets just because of inventory. We've only had because we're broke podcasters, we could only afford to lay down 100 barrels a year. Now we're laying down 1,200 barrels a year, but we have
Wow.
280 barrels available to us this year between bourbon and rye. And so we're opening up Maryland, DC, and Delaware because there's a lot of interest for the product because our rye whiskey, Sagamore Spirits makes Sagamore Spirits is our contract distiller. It makes our rye whiskey for us, along
That's
with Bardstown
awesome.
Bourbon Company. Yep.
Nice.
We love Sagamore.
Yeah.
We do too. We were really nervous when they got bought out by DiSerono because we
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
know if, with Wilderness Trail, when they got bought, a lot of their contracts went out the window with that. So we were very nervous, but thankfully, the whole DiSerono team, Sagamore team's on board with us. And so we get to continue that partnership.
That's awesome. What do you think is like, okay, I'm trying to think of not the last question, but what do you think the next big thing in whiskey is? Like overall, like if you had to like think of one prediction for whiskey for maybe this year or even the next 5 years, what do you think it would be?
Oh gosh, that's a long-winded question. How much
Yeah.
time do you got?
Yeah.
For
It's like, do you
this
have a crystal
year,
ball?
for this year, I think this year is going to be it's going to be a tough year for a lot of brands because they're still feeling the effects of the inventory levels. Interest rates are still high, economic uncertainty. So there's a lot of people right now are buying either really affordable stuff like, the old granddads or, you know, early times or anything that's good but
Mhm.
affordable, or they're like spending $200 on this ultra rare bottle, and
Yep.
there's like, um, like Bill said, there's going to be, I think there's a lot of people that got into this thinking that, oh, bourbon's easy. We saw Kentucky Owl, High West, all them, just start a brand and get bought up, and a lot of investors got into it, got excited. There's a ton of barrels on the open or the source market that they're just investor barrels or not brand barrels. And so it's going to be good for consumers and companies moving forward, but it's surviving these next like year to 18 months,
Mhm.
because there's probably a 500,000 to 800,000 barrels probably in the state that are just investor barrels that have no brand tied to them,
Wow.
that were just, and so it'll be interesting to see, uh, what will happen in that space. And that's probably people don't care about that stuff, but I care. I think it's interesting
Yeah.
because there's this whole other side of the market people don't maybe necessarily understand or whatnot. But from a product standpoint, um, gosh, I don't know that we were having this discussion earlier. It's like where is there room to innovate anymore? There's no, I mean, everybody just does the same 10 finishes and does them, by brand XYZ. You got your Ambrata, your honey, your maple, your cigar blend. You got and it's like just
Yep.
rinse and repeat against every other brand. And so it's like that's what we think about all the time is like what do consumers really just want the same exact thing just under our label, like a honey cask under, and that just doesn't excite me. So we really think, we try to prove that with our oak collection. We were one of the
Mhm.
first to like take French oak and American oak and blend them back together. I really learned a lot that, and we're experimenting with a ton of different, because the wood technology has just gotten so awesome with custom seasonings, toast level, char levels, independent
Mhm.
stave, and Kelvin and all that have really just dialed in. They've been doing this research for 10 years and now they have all that data. And so we're excited about the wood finishing category. I think you're going to see a phasing out of the finishing, like kind of like craft beer went through, where you just
Yep.
had like triple X IPA, hop this, hop that, and like chocolate pepper stout or this and
Yep.
that. And like, and then people are just like, I just want a Miller Lite. So I
Yep.
think we're excited about, we think the finishing trend will slow down, but I probably am wrong about this. And where people will maybe trying to gravitate towards more traditional bourbon styles. You have people like Ben Holiday, Still Austin coming out with
Mhm.
fantastic products that
Yep.
aren't doing, stupid, crazy finishes. Not that they're stupid. I'm just saying that they're just
But
like
yes.
it.
Yes.
And we can get into a whole spiel about finished whiskey with me. And, I'm
Me
like,
too.
how is it any different than flavored whiskey? Because you're putting a flavor into a barrel, extracting it out, and then putting whiskey back into it with those flavors remain, and how much is left and whatnot. And so, but I don't know. I think there's going to be a trend more towards traditional bourbon and just like good wood finishing. I think Makers has proven that with the Beps
Mhm.
series. They've done really well with that.
Yeah.
I think, Elijah Craig Toasted's done great. Michter's Toasted's obviously awesome. Shanks, or no, it's not Shanks, but Bomberg is Shanks the one they do a Chinquapin or a different finish?
I
Any
don't know.
I think it's Shanks that does the Chinkapin.
I know we have a cave collection
We have
Chinkapin
Missouri.
from Ben Holiday, but
Yeah. That's
but
really
that
good.
was a lot of predictions in one different
yeah.
No, but I totally
conversation. But
I'm right there with you though when it comes to the finishing thing. It's like what can sell, right? So it comes to this like marketing mindset and it's like, "Oh my god, I saw this one company, this one distillery do this finish. Now, they were very successful. Let's all jump in and do that finish." And it's like this gravitation to we need to make money. This makes us money right now. This like let's do this finish. It takes us what, 6 to 12 months.
Not even that.
Not even that. Like
Yeah.
some people are doing 30 days, some people are doing
Yeah.
2 weeks, whatever the finish is. But it's like, we can sell that because that is the hot thing right now. Like the Amber on it. And I'm not
Don't
saying,
even. You know, I hate that.
no, I know Bill hates it. No, I'm just saying, like,
I do.
I do
like some
too.
tension.
I'm
I do not
team
like
no
them.
Amberana. So
okay, I like the way it tastes, but also I want my bourbon to taste like bourbon. I
yeah,
want it to taste like bourbon, and whether it's finished or not, or like double barreled, like I want the bourbon to shine through. I want it to be enhanced. I don't want to be drinking flavored whiskey. Like I'm not here for drinking flavored whiskey unless it's for a funny video or something like that. But it's more of like I want the whiskey to shine through, and I want to enjoy it that way. So I think it's more of like a marketing tactic. Even like when you look at like Arby's bourbon,
Oh God,
oh, yeah.
Arby's or the Doritos, like
the Doritos whiskey. Or
the
whatever it
it's
is.
not whiskey. It is like liqueur
Okay,
or like
whatever it is.
whatever it is. But
Yeah, I don't even know what it is, but
uh,
it's wild. It's a fascinating time, growing up around this. It's like I'm kind of left scratching my head, but people love it and I don't judge them for it. It's just
mm-mm.
it makes it challenging, from a not just for me, but for every producer. It's like, gosh, everybody just is so quick to move to like the next thing and this and that. It's like, how do you come out with something that like that resonates and you're not just copying everyone else? And so it's a philosophical question we play with all the time at Pursuit Spirits. Our hope is that people will go back to, and what, not that even people have gone back to this, but we set out to this because we thought blending was the next wave of, because we saw, barrel was having success
Yeah.
with it. And into the Scotch world, blending is much more respected. Rum is much more respected in, the blending aspect. But for some reason, American whiskey, it's all about like who made it, high age statement, and now it's finishes. And so who
Yep.
knows? Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's so funny. This is Taste and Sensibility said so many finishes. Let's see. Oh, who could have predicted barrel seagrass? Oh, yeah, totally. Like that was like before. I feel like
That's an off the wall but really good bottle.
no,
It
it's
is,
such an
yeah.
off the wall bottle, but it's really like that was one of the first finished bottles that I like first finished whiskeys that I was like, holy crap, this is so unique and so off the wall, but it was actually really good. It reminded me of childhood, and that's why I can relate to it because I thought it tasted like a yellow spree, and I'll never say different, but it tastes like a yellow spree.
Yeah,
And
it does.
super, super, super unique. And yeah. What else? Ryan for president.
Yeah, there's that one. But then Robert said, I heard it was a Pursuit Double Oak, the biggest thing in 24.
Yes.
Yeah, we're super excited about this. So like this has been 2 years in the making. Probably 18 months, 2 years. Because I like the double oak profile. Some of them are overly done. We had learned from the oak collection. And we just we're about to bottle in like 3 weeks, and we pulled samples today, and I'm absolutely 1000% pumped about this release. Like,
Nice.
I mean, it's got so much flavor balance. It's got so much fruit that you don't typically get out of a double oak profile. Usually double oak, is like this really sweet maple syrupy type of flavor. Whereas this it's got it all. It's like real buttery on the front end, but then there's this awesome fruitiness to it. And then there's just nice, like oaky, spicy finish that just sits on your palate for a while. I'm really excited about it, and I'm anxious to hear feedback from it because it's a new product, and I'm always insecure seeing what people think about it.
When is it going to come out? I'm curious now. I'm like, wait, when is this coming?
Yeah, so we're gonna bottle it probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and then we'll probably start selling some at the distillery only to start, but then we'll put some out in distribution. So probably it's January 29th, so probably like March time frame before it starts hitting shelves. It just takes forever for damn things to
Yep.
I'm kind of curious, fellow, because Double Oak and me usually don't get along too.
I love them. So Bill thinks like
there's some of them I get that's like I love buttered popcorn, but I get a buttered popcorn flavor on my back palate that I don't like.
He doesn't like it, but I love it. That's the only, like, our palates are pretty similar, I would say, for the most part. I like stuff a little spicier sometimes. I don't like it as sweet as Bill likes it, but the double oaked and like toasted stuff, I really love.
Yeah,
like I really love, like, especially when I can like taste some char or like even like a little spice punch here and there. Like I'm more of a spicy kind of person, but yeah.
Yeah, I like all my whiskeys to be sweet, fruity, spicy, and that's what you'll get with this.
Yeah.
It'll be sweet and decadent on the front end, but then vibrant fruit notes, and then that nice oaky, spicy finish on the back. So I'm pretty pumped about it.
I'm excited.
Yeah, excited to try that one once it comes out.
Heck yeah. Sean said, "Is it coming to Colorado when?" I mean, wait, coming to Colorado when?
I assume that's for the.
That's yep. That'll be a distributor decision. So that's the thing. Everything's out. I would put as much as we could out of Colorado. It's just it's out of our hands. So
Yep. All right. Well,
yeah.
I feel like we've taken up enough of your valuable time.
No, this was fun, and
it was fun.
We got to do it again. It was a good time.
Yep, for sure.
That was a good time. Good conversation. Kind of learned some new things. So.
Definitely. I always have a million questions. So I'm like, oh, wait, but there's more. And there's something I was thinking about. I'm like, wait, do you think that too?
Yeah, no doubt. Well, next time you're in Kentucky, definitely come by again. We'll let you do the whole process instead of rushing out. And then
that was our fault.
Yeah, that was us.
No, it's all good.
That's an us problem.
But yeah, love to have you all, and I love Colorado. So next time we're out there, we'll definitely try to meet up again. That was a fun event we did with 5280. So, yeah, I really appreciate you having us on. It blows my mind that anybody wants to talk to me. So thank you. And and congratulations. You're going to hit 10K soon. And I can't wait to see what you think about that old Jim Beam bottle.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah. We're excited for it,
but I was just gonna say, everyone definitely go check out that, the whole shebang experience out there.
Yeah, for sure. Go check
I'm terrible at marketing. Yes. If you're in Louisville, Kentucky, come visit us. We'd love to have you. We'll promise you'll have an experience that's fun, interesting, and exciting, and you'll take home an exciting bottle and share it with all your friends.
Yeah, it's so cool.
We didn't get too much video when we were out there, but I know It's Bourbon Night just released a video.
Yeah,
just a couple days ago.
I love that video. That was such a great video.
So you can see more of what that is in that video too. So definitely check that out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huge thanks to Chad and Sarah for doing that. I was like, gosh, bless y'all put a lot of work in this thing. Thank you.
No, that was a great video. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Like it made me think of ours, and I'm like, oh, all I did was show like me trying to get into the barrel, like
pull that
what they did. Yeah, I was like trying to pull that.
But you only had like 25, 30 minutes. So next time.
Yeah, next time it's going to be the whole shebang.
That's right. There you go. Love that.
No,
well, thanks guys.
So much.
Well, y'all have a good night and stay in touch, and we'll hopefully see you soon.
Yep.
Take care.
Thanks to everybody that tuned in the chat. Appreciate it.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. Have a good one.
Yeah,
you too. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much. That was so fun.
That was. It's good to see him. I wish we could get out there soon again though to go actually do the whole shebang, but it probably won't be until October-ish.
I know. I love those guys. Like they're so awesome, but I agree. Like
wish Kenny could have been on too.
I know. I wish Kenny could have been on too, but seriously, like Ryan and Kenny are some of them like the main, like they were the main podcast that I listened to.
Been doing it for a while.
When I first got into whiskey, but they're very informative. They're very like honest and open and straightforward. And I love their perspective on things. And yeah, I mean, like I listened to them, but like Matt and the Junkies were the YouTubers that I watched. So, and Chad and Sarah, of course. Yes. So it's super awesome. Like it's crazy to think we're coming in on like 2.5 years of this journey.
Like
Yeah. So if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe. And if you haven't like watched their or if you're not like subscribers of their podcast, subscribe to them. Yes.
Go listen to it. Listen to it. It is good.
Yeah,
you learn new stuff. Like I learned about that tequila thing the other day or yesterday, whenever I listened to that.
Well, just enjoy their conversations. You know what? They're like so down to earth and so real. And that's what I enjoy the most because like, I don't know, just real people. I just love real people. As
Sean said, Ryan and Kenny are good people.
Yep.
Yeah. My favorite is just the regular bourbon.
I love
My
the
favorite's the
rye.
regular bourbon.
Okay, if you guys like, this rye in particular, but like another barrel that I tried when we did the.
Oh, that one barrel at the
Mhm.
experience
So
was, that was really
but
good.
I'm a huge dill fan,
Yeah.
and they have like one that's super dilly. So if you like dill,
Well, they might not have it anymore.
they might not. But if you like dill, like this batch particular is actually pretty dilly.
Yep.
So I don't know. They're awesome. We love and appreciate them, and we're grateful for them. We're really grateful that Ryan came on and talked with you guys, because he has such an interesting perspective, and being in Kentucky and like seeing all the changes and the transformations that the industry has made. Like, it's crazy.
All right. Well, let's end this one. Get some food, and
Next week we'll have another fun stream. So we've got to eat dinner. We've got to get some food. We've got to get some food. So thank you guys so much for being here. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to hit subscribe. We're getting closer to 10K every day. We appreciate you. We love you. Go check out our Patreon to see some behind the scenes action. We've got a Patreon only stream coming up on Sunday. So stay tuned.
Sorry, I got to answer this.
The planning for president. We haven't had it yet.
Haven't opened it yet.
I can't
It's
wait
sitting
to
in
try
the fridge
it
upstairs. But haven't opened that one.
I'm excited to try that. So, all right, guys, we will see you guys next week. Check out all of our videos this week, and we love you.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Love you. Bye.